What's up, YouTube? This is Eamon Hartnett coming at you with the audio commentary for the 10th anniversary of Captain Integral, the full series compiled into one 42-minute video of pure garbage. There is nothing good or redeeming about the 42 minutes that you're about to watch here. I'm the only person you know, or that anybody knows, who would want to make a 10th anniversary audio commentary for a high school project. We made this in the first Captain Integral movie. There are two movies. It's the first one and then the sequel. We made the first one in May 2007, and then the sequel we made in the summer of 2007. And it was for a calculus project. We were juniors in high school. It was me, Mark Zaleski, Henry Greenfield, and hold on a sec, I'll let you watch this. Hey, you look awfully trigonometric tonight.
Thank you. I've been working on my curve.
I can tell.
I've been working out with Coach Tangent.
Sine, I've been thinking. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You know we've been in this coordinate plane a while, and I want us to become constant.
I totally agree. All the other cosines are just so variable.
So the voice, that female voice you just heard, was my sister Seton. We went to an all-boys school. So we were, 16, 17 years old. We honestly didn't really know that many girls. The only girl we really knew was my sister. We wanted a female for the role, so we got my sister. So that was filmed at Mark's house, that last scene that we were pretending was a cafe. This was filmed at our school, St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. This classroom was the classroom of a teacher named Jeffrey Alcozer. I forget what he taught. I never had him personally in class. I want to say it was either history or math, which I know is a weird two things to remember as the two possibilities. These guys here, sitting here, the guy in the two people in the back are the teacher, Jeffrey Alcozer, and one of our classmates, Doug Freeman. And then the two people in the front are John O'Brien and it'll get back to him, but and Doug Freeman. Oh, sorry, Doug Freeman was in the back, right? And then Eric Hanselman is in the front, and I'm the guy in front of the screen giving the lecture. I'm playing the police chief. Obviously, we didn't do anything in terms of costumes, really. The only thing that makes me a police chief is that I have that helmet, basically. But what I'm wearing does become my costume for most of the series. So yeah, Doug Freeman, John O'Brien, Eric Hanselman, Jeffrey Alcozer. Those are the four people on screen right now. The one in back is Jeffrey Alcozer. The guy who just ran in, that's Mark Zaleski. He plays our Captain Integral. So what's happening plot-wise, I may have been speaking over a lot of it. Those are the cops. They don't know any calculus. I'm the police chief. I'm awful at calculus myself. But this one guy, this is our superhero, Captain Integral. He's going to save the town. And this is our villain, played by Henry Greenfield. He is our Dr. Derivative.
Yo, I'm Captain Integral. I'm the anti-derivative.
Excuse me, mister, thanks for, saving me and all, but, what's with this plus C?
That's me doing the voice of that equation.
I just found Dr. Derivative's video blog on YouTube.
Man.
2007, people. YouTube was not what it is today.
Who does he think he is? He's really cramping my style. Captain Integral, if you're watching this, you.
So yeah, this is for our calculus class. You will never learn any calculus watching these videos at all. You're almost 5 minutes into now this 42-minute video. You haven't learned any calculus yet. You're not going to learn any calculus. Dr. Derivative, he is finding the first derivative of each of these equations is what is actually going on calculus-wise. How we ever got any credit for this in a calculus class, I don't know. Our teacher was Mr. Benjamin Pachuk. He is a fantastic human being. that Pachuk. That transition you just saw, I love. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, Pachuk, he's a great guy. He was encouraging us to basically get into film by assigning us this project. Really dedicated math teacher. The reason I really liked that moment at the top of the stairwell where Captain Integral first appears is on YouTube. The way it's always been, the way I've had this uploaded for years now, is there's a break right there, and then finally this is the first version people are really getting it to see, where there's no break right there. It just goes right through. So yeah, this is again all filmed in our school. This is what we call the English building, or sometimes just called the E building. But yeah, Pachuk's a great guy. This little slow-mo here, I thought I was so cool doing the slow-mo. I originally edited the first Captain Integral movie on Pinnacle. I edited both on Pinnacle Studio, but different versions of it. The first one, I think I used either version 8 or 9, and then the second one I used either version 9 or 10. I forget exactly where the cutoff was for each of those there. We're in our cafeteria there. Oh, there's me holding the camera. If you go back, you can see there's a reflection of me in the glass there holding the camera. I was the cameraman for most of this. So yeah, the premise, if you can't tell already, these equations, these mathematical expressions, I should say, they're all citizens of our town. There's this villain who's, reducing them to their derivative. We got this little bit of comedy moment here where he's waiting for the water fountain. He's reducing them to their first derivative, our villain, Dr. Derivative. And then our hero, there's me again. Do this little cool transition effect. I thought that was so cool. So yeah, the police are clueless. Here's our superhero. It's fairly self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure the original idea of like, we're gonna have a villain called Dr. Derivative and a hero called Captain Integral. I'm pretty sure that was all Mark's idea originally. Full credit to him for that. Brilliant idea. Again, I don't think there's anything actually good about any of these videos. Like, there's no artistic merit here. There's no moral redeeming value. There's nothing going on here. Except a bunch of, teenagers goofing around with a camera, somehow getting credit in a math class for it. But yeah, I was going to talk about Mr. Pachuk, right? Amazing guy. He's a Filipino immigrant. For the first couple years he was here teaching math here in Jersey City at St. Peter's Prep. His family was still back in the Philippines. He was still supporting them by teaching math out here in the U.S. He was, sending money back to them. Eventually, he got his whole family to come out. Super dedicated guy, super smart. He had like an AIM account, like an AOL Instant Messenger account. We would be up till like 1 or 2 a.m. sometimes, just like helping me with homework, helping all of his students with homework over that AIM account, just way above and beyond, like really dedicated, trying to, make everyone do really well on like the AP test and all of that. Great guy. We got to go up on the roof to film this stuff. I thought that was really cool. Basically, we didn't ask anyone's permission really. We just kind of walked up there, and we were like, oh, we're filming there, so I guess we're allowed to. The only reason I am wearing that fancy-looking bow tie in the scene right now is I was just in a band performance. I played trumpet all 4 years of high school. I played in the band, and we were performing somewhere in New York, and we had just come back from that. So we were filming after school, after coming back from that. It's the only reason I'm looking nice there. I was in like almost a tux, I guess, for that performance. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I would just be in my normal spring dress code. This scene is obviously super kind of self-indulgent. So I was like the primary video editor for this. I was the only one who like had video editing software, had done a little bit of like video editing before, as I remember right. So like all of the video editing was happening on my computer. As I remember right, I think the other two people who were getting credit on this project with me, Mark and Henry, they didn't even know I was including all of this like extended super self-indulgent stuff at the end. Like this is almost half of the movie, the first movie here, of me just talking about this nonsense philosophical, Christian illusion, whatever, stuff that's going on right now. So yeah, they didn't even know I was going to do all this, as I remember right, the other two guys in the group, but I just did it. I just put it all in there. whatever.
Sacrificed himself for our sake. He attempted to find the integral of the derivative, and the two canceled each other out, leaving nothing.
So yeah, at the time I made this video, I was
Heaven returned
a devout Catholic.
and for this,
That's how I was raised. That was 2007, again, when we made this. It's now 2017 that I'm recording this audio commentary. I'm now an atheist. I do believe there's a lot of Christian imagery and Christian symbolism and such in this video. I still, in my own creative writing today, even though I'm an atheist these days, I still put a lot of Christian imagery and such in my writing. I don't, I'm not against the way that I use Christian imagery at all in this.
That's not
This is
true.
Pat McGrath doing this voice here.
I'm supposed to be a sign. He never undid me.
tragic flaw.
But cosine X and Y wanted to be married.
There's always civil union.
Oh, and here's me committing suicide, because that's really funny, right? So yeah, this is now basically, we're nearing the end. We're about 11 minutes in. We have half an hour left to go, folks, and we're now basically done with the original project that we turned in. The rest is all kind of extra here. For some reason, this is the first step of being hyper self-indulgent. We decided to make a sequel that following summer to this movie. So that was now the summer between our junior and senior year of high school. So that's what's coming up next. If you enjoyed what you just saw, it keeps getting worse. It was already awful. It keeps getting worse from here. Yeah. Here comes some bloopers if you're into that kind of stuff. Alright, go. As soon as John sits down again, you do it.
Don't close it again.
Not crack. What? For a smart kid.
Mark.
For calculus, you guys. And you close it again. You are retarded.
Ooh, using the R word.
Henry.
Can't do that these days.
Henry!
Henry.
So these bonus features,
Yo,
I guess I put them on the DVD that I made for myself and Mark and Henry back in 07.
Henry, you went too far. No.
We're still in blooper mode, but there's some more other bonus features coming up here.
Who's this integral guy?
I'm Dr. Integral.
Damn it. Alright, so. Damn it, I'm Dr. Derivative. Who does this integral guy think he is? What was I gonna say next? Never mind. Leave Henry alone!
Yeah, you ran the wrong way there. That guy yelling out, "Leave Henry alone." I'm pretty sure that was Doug Freeman, actually, who, just a coincidence, he happened to be out on our yard while we were filming that, but he was in that earlier scene, in the cop scene. So the guy who's tormenting these other two on our side of the door, that's Mike Laurie. The two guys who are outside, I don't know who the one in the blue shirt is, but the other one in the striped shirt, that is Dan Labrojo. He was one of my close friends in high school. I just put this on the original DVD for fun. It's on the other YouTube uploads for fun. This is now the alternate fight. We filmed two different versions of the fight scene. So this is the alternate one now that I just put on the DVD and on YouTube. Now here comes the trailer for Captain Integral Returns, which is the sequel to Captain Integral the Antiderivative. So basically, one of the reasons that I am making this compilation video right now is that YouTube is a flawed human enterprise, is how I will put it. So the original, I'll pause that. The guy who just ran out, he's Charles-Emmanuel Carteret. He is born in France. He was a French exchange student who we included in our video here. I'll get into this whole new cast of characters in a little bit. But yeah, so the original trailer that we made, which is the very start of this video you're watching now, was first uploaded to YouTube on the 22nd of May, 2007, to Mark's YouTube account, which is iWalkTrack1229. If you go and look, that is still there. And then I originally uploaded on my own YouTube account both Part 1 and Part 2 of the first movie on the 24th of May, 2007. The first movie was too long for those days of YouTube, because back in those days in 2007, YouTube videos could only be 10 minutes or less. So I had to divide the first movie up into 2 parts. So that's why back in May of 2007, I uploaded Captain Integral, the Antiderivative, Part 1 and Part 2. The Part 1 of that is still technically up from May 2007. Part 2 of that was removed at some point later for copyright reasons. Well, I guess some of the songs didn't clear, so YouTube just, back in those days, just totally took it down. But then I later re-uploaded Part 2 back on the 13th of July, 2011. Let's see, I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure if I originally uploaded the bonus features, like the bloopers and the, the alternate fight and Mike Lowry tormenting Dan Labrojo like that. I don't know for sure if I ever uploaded those back in 2007, but I definitely uploaded those in their own separate video in on 13 July 2011. And then if you go look on my YouTube page, you'll see the trailer, the trailer you just watched, the first trailer for Captain Integral Returns, I did upload to my own YouTube page on the 4th of July, 2007, and then the second trailer for Captain Integral Returns I uploaded on the 27th of August, 2007, and then Captain Integral Returns, which is the movie we're just starting to watch right now, I did, I'm pretty sure, upload that in 2 parts also back in 2007. Those were both taken down at that point, again because of the copyright issue, but then I later uploaded those in 2 parts, which you'll see those are still on my YouTube channel, on July 14th, 2011, a few years later, the same time I uploaded Part 2 of the first movie and the bonus features. So there is a playlist on my YouTube account that shows them all in the order you're supposed to see them. But again, if you're just looking at my videos in the upload order, it's clear they're not in the order you're supposed to see them. And also, YouTube, again, it does stupid things. I'll keep talking about that in a little bit. Or not stupid things, but I should say flawed human things. I'll leave it that way. So I want to talk about these guys we're seeing on screen right now. This whole new cast of characters I bragged about, who only actually appear in this scene. So let's see, we've got Brendan White, Mike Cortina, and Curran Bannock. Those are the guys looking at my dead body right now. So actually, Mike Cortina and Curran Bannock, I believe, are now working at the New York Film Academy. Both Brendan White and Mike Cortina were involved with the TV studio with me the following year, our senior year in high school, 07 to 08. You can see there are other videos uploaded on my YouTube account and also on our TV studio account that they appear in. So our senior year, Benjamin Pachuk, who was our calculus teacher, he was our moderator that year, our senior year. And I was the president of the TV studio, which is basically like our AV club for the school. We made like some news videos and like some other stuff. So I was Pachuk was the moderator, I was the president, and Brendan White, this guy with the red hair, he was our vice president. This fake blood that's on me right here, that was brought by one of these guys who was on screen. I forget who exactly. My best guess would be Brendan, but I don't know that for sure. Let's see what else. Those are my sneakers over on the stoop. I don't know why I took those off. It doesn't really make sense that they would somehow get off my feet, but I took them off for some reason. If I remember right, I wrote a script for these guys to read from, and then they were just like, no, this is a bad script, we're just gonna improvise our own stuff, which, honestly, they were probably correct about. Like, I'm sure whatever I wrote for them was bad, but I also then later included way too much of their improv. Like, I would later probably want a third of what actually we just saw that actually appeared there to make this actually better. But also, ultimately, I don't want this to be good. Like, there's stupid, shitty things happening in this video, and I'm fine with it, because that's what's fun about it for me. That's what's enjoyable.
No, but I was just kidding, because he's dead now, I guess. Can I go? I kind of have a meeting to get to, so just...
What? You want to leave? You are building this investigation?
No, wait. What investigation? That guy over there saw him jump. It's a suicide.
It's not declared a suicide until I say it is.
Wait, did you just call this a suicide a minute ago?
What? No, I didn't. Maybe I did. Leave me alone!
Another gay joke. You can never have too many gay marriage jokes.
My God. Is it marriage sacred day?
But remember, this was 2007. If I remember right, there was only like one state that had... I'll let this guy talk.
He's dead. My hero is dead. I saw him like a father. Now, who will I look up to? I have no one, but there is nothing I can do? That's not true. What? Who are you? Where did you come from? I am you, 50 years from now. What? What are you talking about? I dedicate my entire life to building a time machine, so that you could go back and save
he stumbled over his lines.
D'accord.
Because English is not his first language. So yeah, he was my French exchange student.
Oh, I don't speak French.
We filmed this in the basement of my home in Westfield, New Jersey.
You don't speak French?
Yeah,
I know.
I think this whole, like, oh, I don't speak French anymore. I'm pretty sure I was originally imagining when I wrote this dialogue, I was thinking, like, oh, the older version would be played by a different actor or something. It makes more sense if you think about it that way.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, here you go.
I don't know. Charles Emmanuel, he was such a good sport for playing along with all of this. This is just such self-indulgent nonsense that, like, I was like, hey, dude, I wrote this script. Like, I'm gonna put a camera in front of you. He is, like, he's studied English for a long time. His English is pretty good. Like, it's far better than my French ever was, or Mark's French ever was. But, like, he doesn't totally understand what he's saying here.
No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Before coming here, I went back to
so yeah, I stayed with his family in Reims, France. I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Back when I was a sophomore in high school, actually, through a French exchange program that was set up through my high school. There was no, like, other direction part of the exchange though. Like, this part of, like, him coming to stay with us, that was set up just later between, like, my family and his family. There was no school involved in this part of, like, his coming to America and staying with us. But my school did help me go to France for 2 weeks. I think it was my sophomore year of high school. Special effects with Pinnacle back in 2007 looks so cool. Again, another suicide joke, because those are really funny. But yeah, I had a good time with Charles Emmanuel exploring Reims. It's spelled R-E-I-M-S.
It's a bust.
They have a really beautiful cathedral there. And here he is, running around in my basement in Westfield.
Okay. The old guy sent me back 4 days, but the chief only died yesterday. Why? And remember, Mo, that one life can be saved. Yes, but who died 3 days before the chief?
Okay. So that, like, that thing where you saw where,
oh my God,
that, like, superimposed image appeared in that, like, little, like, top right quadrant. That was a thing that my previous version of Pinnacle Studio could not do. I don't remember if it was 8 or 9, again, that I used to edit the first version of this, but it was either 9 or 10 that I used to make the sequel here, and that was whatever one that was the first one where I could do that picture-in-picture thing. I thought that was so cool at the time, that I could put that, like, little thing in that upper right quadrant. I used that again later in the thing. Yeah. Early O's technology, people. Super cool. So again, my reasons for putting this compilation video together, you know, YouTube has it super fragmented, for multiple reasons. I'll get into some more of that a little bit later. But, yeah, the quality was not as good back in the day. Like back in like 07 and even 2011, like the video quality of stuff you could upload to YouTube back then was not as good. So I'm hoping this all appears at least somewhat slightly better quality. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that I still have access to like all of the original, like I probably don't honestly have access to like the original footage that I shot. Like this was on I shot this on like my parents' home camcorder that, you know, in 2007 was already like 8 years old at the time. Those old tapes that I shot this on might still exist. Oh, erect, haha, we're teenage boys making a dick joke. Oh, and a continuity joke. Always fun to put things together. Yeah, those tapes might still exist. If they do, they're back in my parents' house in Jersey City, where they live now. I don't know for sure that they exist. I made the videos that I uploaded in 2011 actually ripping back from the DVDs that I had made in 2007, which is not a good way to do things at all. So if I ever do find those, like the original footage, I might totally George Lucas it, you know, like re-editing like the sound and all that. If I get super bored and super self-indulgent, which I hope I never get that bored, like I've never reached that degree of pointlessness in my life that I want to do that, but who knows. Oh, there's a continuity error if you ever care. We filmed this scene with Charles Emmanuel and Mark without Henry present, so technically from the direction Charles Emmanuel approaches Mark, Henry should be between them, and yet there's no Henry there. It's just a continuity thing. I don't know how many people notice it, but if this were a perfect world and we could have gotten Henry there for that shoot day, it would have looked a little bit different. Again, I'm pretty sure we filmed this over the summer of 2007. I'm pretty sure we actually just broke into the school and just walked up to the roof. Like, there would have been a serious, probably, lawsuit involved somewhere if, like, one of us had fallen off the roof at any point. But we were just, hey, we have a video camera. That gives us permission to do whatever we want, which is, like, this weird psychological rule for some reason. And, like, that's probably died now with this age of, you know, everyone has a, you know, a good camera on their phone and everything. But, like, for a long time, that's, like, a weird psychological thing. You can just get away with things. For decades, I think, in our society. Oh, if you're just carrying a camera on you. It's weird. Human psychology is a weird thing. High-tech everything makes it weirder. We're in Ryan Heffernan's office right here. He still works at our school. I don't think he ever gave us permission to walk into his office. We just walked in and started filming.
Just came from the ophthalmologist, you know, got my eyes checked out. Opened up a pupil, so I have to have some shades.
Oh, you'll notice on my shirt, I'm wearing a Marauder Nation shirt. You know, gotta support the team. I have blood on my shirt from the scene which we had filmed earlier, which we used fake blood for my suicide, but obviously we're now on a timeline because of the time travel thing, where I haven't committed suicide, where I haven't died, so plot-wise, there's no good reason why there should be blood on my shirt. It's one of those things like where you see my reflection in the glass when I'm holding the camera. It's one of those things like, obviously it doesn't make any sense. Obviously it's just a complete result of how shitty and just garbage this video is, which nobody would ever want to watch. I'm just a very self-indulgent person, though. Like, this video is special to nobody else. Like, even, like, Mark and Henry, I'm pretty sure, just don't care about this stuff at all anymore. I've watched this whole thing, this whole, you know, 42-whatever minute thing through probably at least twice a year for the past 10 years consistently since I made it. At least twice a year. Because I just get fun out of it. I know it's not good. Like, I don't think anyone else will ever in the world get anything pleasurable or decent out of this. I enjoy it, though, because I'm just a weird, you know, self-absorbed, egotistical person. So why am I making this compilation video? Why am I uploading this to YouTube? Because I want it myself. Because I want to have a place I can go quickly to watch it whenever I feel like watching the whole thing straight through in a hopefully higher quality version. You know, higher quality visuals at least, that YouTube will let me upload in 2017, more so than 2007 or 2011, I hope.
Here's how I do it.
I taught the entire police force, Captain.
They were asleep.
I threw a book at them. I threw a book at them.
So coming up pretty soon, there is a scene that takes place in Liberty State Park in Jersey City. in what looks like a kind of like wheat field or something. I don't know exactly what it is. Mark knew about it. Apparently they use it for like hazing practices for the track team or something. But there's this chase scene, and so for some of my later uploads, like my 2011 uploads, YouTube just stepped in and like altered the audio. Like there's some places where like the audio sounds totally crappy on those earlier uploads you can look at from 2011, where like YouTube later stepped in and changed the audio. And like I know this whole, like in some way it's like part of the endearingness, like this whole thing is crappy, so like if YouTube made it a little bit more crappy, maybe that's just what the thing is. It makes it a little bit more endearing or whatever. But I want you guys to, or myself at least, to be able to see what it was originally supposed to be. So in this scene where the two guys are running through the wheat field, there is originally supposed to be a song. It's a song called "Through the Fire" and Flames. Sorry, is what the song is called, by Dragon Force. I know nothing about this band, or really nothing about the song except the fact that we used it here. But let's see. YouTube totally erased it, and there are other places where like we use a song, and I think what happened actually, if I remember right, was like at one point YouTube removed like the whole audio, and then later they were like, oh, actually, I guess you can use this part of the audio here. So they put it back in, but now it sounded like super crappy. There's some parts of that coming up, which I'll point out. So yeah, so I hope this solves that problem, because like the versions that I've had on a DVD for a decade now, and you know I've had saved on my computer for a long time, like those do not have this problem, and like hopefully this version that I'm uploading now will not have those problems either, because YouTube totally took that song "Through the Fire and Flames" by Dragon Force. YouTube totally took that out. If you look at that old upload of Captain Integral Returns Part 2 from 2011, that song is just gone. Like it's like you only hear the sounds of us running through the wheat field, and it's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. So hopefully, I won't even talk through it. I'll just let you guys listen to it. You'll finally hear it the way it's supposed to be.
What the hell happened here?
Oh, the tripod. Another crappy. It was probably honestly not deliberate. Like Mark is holding the camera for this. Like it was probably not deliberate, and I probably only realized it way later when I was editing. But it's just part of that, crappiness that we're embracing. Basically, we knew that nothing that you're seeing in this whole video was ever going to be good. So we just kind of, on some level, just embraced the crappiness. Is at least how I justify it a decade later. Oh, this is that song I was talking about. I'll shut up.
Good play. Give me it. Shit. Lost him.
Hello, this is Kent Brockman with Fox 5 News, live with the evil Mr. Derivative.
Doctor.
So yeah, once again, I'm doing that picture-in-picture thing, which that newer version of Pinnacle, whichever it was, 9 or 10, allowed me to do for the first time.
Oh, really? And what do you have
let's see,
your
what else
doctorate
do I want to tell you guys? We're,
Differentiation.
we're down to our last,
Well then,
8
talk
minutes
about
of this
becoming
here.
what
So
you
what
do.
else do I want to tell you? I'm trying to think.
Excuse me?
Well, it's like your whole life is about differentiation.
I don't know.
Didn't you ever want to do anything else?
Mark Zaleski, who plays our Captain Integral, he is a mechanical engineer these days.
But I gave that up 300 years ago.
Let's see.
300?
Oh, at some point, I forget which credits it is, but I give a shout out to Steve Kaslowitz. He was our band director. Again, I was in the band. I played trumpet all 4 years. He was our band director. I forget why exactly I gave him a shout out. Oh, we're back in.
Make me sick. It's all my fault.
Yo, I'm Captain Integral. I'm the anti-derivative. Yo, I'm Captain Integral. I'm the anti-derivative.
This is the chief. Go. Okay, we'll be there. Dr. Derivative's been spotted by the Hudson River. Let's go.
Okay, I shut up there for a second, just because I wanted you to hear that audio of when my ringtone starts playing. Because when I first originally uploaded that, both in 2007 and 2011, the audio was fine, and then YouTube messed with it. Hopefully it works fine this time. It's an audio clip from the first movie. The idea is, you know, my character, the police chief, has this, you know, kind of fanboy obsession with Captain Integral. There's something a little bit kind of homoerotic going on. Let's see, yeah, so Steve Kaslowitz, I wanted to give a shout out to. He was our band director. Jim D'Angelo, he was the principal of our high school at the time. He still is. He used to be the TV studio moderator back when he was a teacher at the school, and then he stopped being that when he was principal. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, there's a lot of Christian imagery going on in this, with the whole, like, you know, he sacrificed himself for our sake, and we must be eternally grateful. There's also some product placement here. Vitamin water, try it.
Vitamin water, try it.
There's also, of course, a whole lot of 9/11 imagery going on. This is 6 years after the events of September 11th, 2001. And, you know, obviously, look in the background here. This is where the Twin Towers used to be. There is not any Freedom Tower yet, as you can see. You know, earlier there was that shot, you know, when they're running past, and then we had that other shot of the bloopers where they run the wrong direction, where there's like a mural of the Twin Towers. There's some other stuff too, kind of layered in. Most of it, honestly, was not deliberate. It just kind of worked out that way, but I think it's there, especially, you know, since we're involving time travel in the plot. You always have to wonder, oh, well, why didn't they go back and you know, prevent 9/11? Like, that's obviously part of what's going on here. Basically all of the music, not basically, literally all of the music that you've heard in either the original movie and the sequel were chosen by Mark. I know nothing about music. I never have known anything about music. Like I said, I used to play trumpet in the band, but that doesn't mean I know anything about good music, especially contemporary music. Like, when I was a teenager, I was into, like, classic rock kind of stuff from, like, you know, if you live in the New York area, the stuff they play on, like, Q1043, like, the kind of, like, you know, 70s, 80s classic rock kind of stuff, that's kind of what I was into. I'm still kind of into that stuff. I'm into kind of also, like, kind of 60s folk songs and, like, protest song stuff now, too. But I know nothing about, like, what is good contemporary, like, anything made, I was born in 1990, anything made in my lifetime, I know nothing about what's good and what's bad. So I left the sound music stuff totally up to Mark. He has good taste in music. I enjoy all of the music that's in these movies. So yeah, I, again, know nothing about the bands that we use here. What's happened? It's his goofy French accent. Again, this is a stupid kind of plot thing going on here. It's like, oh, he's my second in command. Like, this guy looks up to me like a father, and yet I know zero French. Like, I don't even understand. My character doesn't understand a time travel thing. Oh, two towers again, some, you know, 9/11 shit happening. My character doesn't understand that any time travel thing happened because this character only ever speaks to me in French, and I don't understand French. Is the weird gimmick of this sequel, which makes zero sense ever. He was literally like, I wrote the lines for him, whatever we could get him to say in English, we got him kind of to say. You, like, go back, you'll see. He doesn't say, there's a lot of it he doesn't say totally that well. Oh, a double integral.
What? A double integral.
Something we learn about it.
Topic you learned at Calculus BC.
Calculus BC? We don't learn that.
Oh, we shit on France for no reason. I don't know why. We think we're so superior as Americans. We're not. We just elected Donald fucking Trump, okay?
So I can
We
see
have we have no right to dump on how they teach calculus in France. It's like
be hearing from him again. So
Charlemagne probably knows calculus better than me and Mark do.
See some old friends, and I'm off to tour the world. You know.
What else do I want to talk about? Oh, so the whole like running gay joke of like there was a sine and a cosine, and then they became two cosines, and then you'll see what's about to happen. Again, this was 2007. As I remember, if I remember correctly, there was only like one state, I think it was Massachusetts, that had legalized gay marriage at this point. In 2007, you know, my basic take was any calling attention to it is kind of good representation. In one way, it's a way these videos are kind of very dated. I'll let you watch this.
Wow, you have got some nerve showing your face.
Again, it's about to be my sister, the only girl we knew.
Yeah, I understand. I did wrong by you two. Now that you're gay, that's my fault. I accept responsibility, but I'm here to straighten that out. Because, to be quite honest, I can't live with that on my conscience. As I enter retirement now, there's no one else I'm really going to be saving for a while. So, I like to end on a good note.
Really? Do you mean it?
Oh yeah, no problem, guys. Sorry it took so long.
Oh, actually, we're not supposed to be...
No, really, there's no need to thank you, just doing my civic duty.
I know, but really, we're not... Oh, come on!
And so, Captain Integral went on a very long vacation, happy that he accomplished his goal. The chief of police decided to go into retirement for 5 years, and that French cop, what's his name, took over as chief. All of the mathematical citizens lived in the joy that they would never meet Dr. Derivative again. Or so they thought.
Alright, this is the director's cut of Captain Integral Returns. And basically what we're doing with this movie is it's a little bit different from the last one because of the time travel. See this kid here, and he's the French cop. He's visited by his past self.
Oh, good job, Damon. You don't know how to spell the word writer. Guess what? You're going into your senior year in high school. You are, right? I am less than 4 months away from being accepted into UChicago at this point. I spelled it correctly the last time. I don't know what happened. I don't know how to spell the word writer, apparently.
It's wonderful. Come on.
And then the twist at the end. Oh yeah.
Action! Action! Action!
I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know who you guys are. I hope I enjoy this, whatever, I might be listening to this audio commentary on YouTube, decades from now. I'm a lonely old man or whatever. Still, just as self-obsessed, thinking that this is enjoyable material, even though I am literally the only organism in the universe who would ever find any joy out of anything that has just transpired over the past 43 minutes. So thank you to whoever is listening. It's probably only myself at a later date, but peace out. Bye.